which is an architectural salvage yard run by a guy called John. I've never been to their salvage yard, never been.
Behind the treasures, the auctions, and the television cameras lies a story few truly know. A boy from a small Welsh town who saw value where others saw junk, whose life of daring discoveries, scandal, and heartbreak would ultimately lead him to sell not just antiques, but pieces of his own past. Drew Pritchard was born in February 1970 in the historic town of Conwy, North Wales, a place steeped in medieval history, where towering castles cast long shadows over cobbled streets, and the echoes of centuries past could be felt in every corner. Growing up in a modest home, with barely enough room for his family, Drew quickly became aware of the fragility of financial security. His parents ran a tiny corner shop that often struggled to make ends meet, and luxuries were few and far between. Yet, it was precisely this scarcity that fueled Drew's imagination and ingenuity. Underlying this curiosity was a profound familial influence. His grandfather, a World War II veteran, whose stories of hidden treasures, smuggled artifacts, and the forgotten histories of Europe captivated young Drew. These tales weren't just entertainment. They were lessons in observation, courage, and persistence. Drew grew up believing that objects, no matter how discarded or broken, held secrets and stories waiting to be uncovered. By the age of 10, Drew had developed a hands-on curiosity that set him apart from two other children. He experimented with broken toys, discarded bicycles, and scrap materials, often risking injury in his early attempts at restoration. One particularly frightening incident left him near electrocuted while tinkering with a wind-up car from the 1950s, yet even this near-death experience failed to deter him. Encounters with rats, vermin, and the hazards of makeshift workshops became routine, shaping a young boy who learned to confront danger with ingenuity and determination. Drew's father, a talented signwriter, played a profound role in shaping his approach to craftsmanship. Watching his father meticulously paint gilded pub signs, Drew learned to blend artistry with technical skill, observing the delicate balance between beauty and risk. He saw how a single mistake could ruin hours of work, and how precision and patience were as essential as boldness. These early lessons in diligence and daring became foundational to Drew's approach to restoration, a philosophy that demanded both courage and an unwavering eye for detail. Throughout his teenage years, Drew worked tirelessly to refine his skills. At 15, he secured a part-time job at a local car restoration garage in Llandudno, where he was introduced to the intricate workings of classic Jaguars, vintage motorcycles, and other prized vehicles. Long hours spent amidst oil, sparks, and metal honed his mechanical aptitude, while occasional dangerous incidents, including a welding accident that left a permanent scar on his hand, taught him resilience, caution, and the necessity of skill under pressure. Around the same time, Drew's fascination with forgotten treasures expanded beyond vehicles into antiques. He unearthed a Victorian gas lamp dating back to the 1880s, buried under heaps of scrap, and painstakingly restored it for resale. This early success not only brought him modest profit, but also ignited his entrepreneurial instincts, teaching him how to identify value where others saw only waste. These formative experiences, balancing risk, creativity, and commerce, laid the foundation for a life devoted to discovering, restoring, and preserving history, shaping the extraordinary career that would follow. By 18, Drew had firmly stepped into the professional world of antiques. He secured an apprenticeship with a skilled stained glass restorer, a position that exposed him to the delicate precision and artistry required to bring centuries-old pieces back to life. Day after day, he learned to clean, repair, and preserve fragile glass while developing an eye for value. spotting rare patterns, historical markers, and hidden craftsmanship that others overlooked. His first solo restoration of a set of Georgian chairs, worn and broken but rich with history, earned him modest profit and, more importantly, confirmed his life's direction. By the age of 20, Drew's ambitions had grown beyond Wales. He ventured across Europe, sourcing rare treasures from flea markets, abandoned estates, and obscure warehouses in France, Belgium, and beyond. These trips were filled with challenges: broken shipments, counterfeit items, language barriers, but each setback became an opportunity. When a crate of French ceramics arrived shattered, he transformed the fragments into mosaic art, turning disaster into profit. These experiences expanded both his collection and his network of contacts, laying the groundwork for an international antiques business that would later define his career. In 1993, at just 23, Drew Pritchard took a bold leap and opened his first antiques shop in Conwy with a modest $2,000 loan. The shop was small, unassuming, and packed with his early finds, items painstakingly restored over years of exploration. From the start, Drew's approach was different. He didn't simply sell antiques, he rescued them. He scoured demolished buildings, empty warehouses, and abandoned estates, pulling treasures from the brink of destruction. By 1995, Drew's ambitions had expanded further. He began collaborating with demolition crews across the UK, negotiating to secure historically significant items before buildings were razed. This work was fraught with danger. On several occasions, he encountered live ordnance left over from World War II, navigated vandals who had claimed warehouses as their own, and faced thieves who targeted his growing collection. Yet Drew persisted. Driven by passion rather than profit, by the early 2000s, his business had grown substantially, generating around $50,000 annually. His expertise extended into industrial salvage, restoring machinery, engines, and rare artifacts, and he earned the nickname Junkyard Genius. Drew's combination of skill, vision, and daring ingenuity had transformed him from a small-town antiques enthusiast into a respected authority in restoration and salvage, setting the stage for the national and international success that would follow. The 2011 premiere of Salvage Hunters marked a turning point. Drew was catapulted into national fame, captivating audiences as he ventured into forgotten estates, derelict factories, and abandoned pubs, seeking treasures that others overlooked or deemed worthless. Each episode showcased daring acquisitions: Victorian stained glass hidden in crumbling Scottish manors, cast-iron garden urns buried under layers of dust, and furniture discarded as junk. Viewers were enthralled by both the thrill of discovery and the stories these objects carried, learning history through Drew's keen eye for value. As the show gained popularity, Drew's adventures expanded across Europe. He navigated bustling flea markets in France, explored deserted warehouses in Belgium, and negotiated with wary owners in Germany and Hungary. These trips were not without risk. Shipments were stolen, items turned out to be counterfeit, and near accidents threatened both him and his team. Each acquisition carried suspense and danger, blending drama with history, and reinforcing Drew's reputation as a fearless collector and salvage expert. Amid professional triumph, Drew's personal life became increasingly complicated. Married to Rebecca in 1998, they built a family with 2 children, Tom and Grace. Initially, the household was more than a home. It was a miniature extension of Drew's passion. The children were immersed in the world of antiques from a young age, learning to distinguish authentic pieces from fakes, helping polish silverware, and assisting in small restorations. For a time, family life and Drew's work were intertwined, creating a magical environment that fused education, adventure, and heritage. However, the pressures of fame, travel, and relentless work took a toll. Long absences strained relationships, and daily parenting responsibilities fell largely on Rebecca. Between 2015 and 2017, Drew's affair with Amanda Thomas, the wife of a close friend, became public, sparking scandal, media scrutiny, and physical confrontations, culminating in a ban from local pubs under the Pub Watch scheme. The affair, combined with the relentless pressures of public life, led to the eventual breakdown of his marriage. By 2017, Drew and Rebecca divorced, dividing assets, including a historic chapel they had restored into a family home. The split marked the end of an era, forcing Drew to reassess both his personal life and professional priorities. Even amid personal turmoil, Drew continued to expand his empire. In 2018, he authored a book sharing his knowledge of salvage, restoration, and the stories behind his most remarkable finds. The book sold 10,000 copies in its first month and inspired spin-offs from his television work, cementing his status as an authority in the field. By 2023, after over 200 episodes of Salvage Hunters, Drew stepped away from the spotlight, choosing privacy, family, and the slower, more contemplative work of hands-on restoration over the relentless pace of television fame. In 2024, Drew made the poignant decision to auction over 620 items from his personal collection, raising $800,000. Among the treasures were a 1930 fairground boat and rare artifacts linked to Sir Malcolm Campbell's Bluebird project, each carrying layers of history and personal significance. For Drew, the sale was not about money. It was symbolic. Years of public scrutiny, personal scandals, divorce, and the pressures of fame had taken their toll. Letting go of these pieces was both cathartic and heartbreaking. Each item sold felt like bidding farewell to an old friend, a tangible piece of his identity. A life spent on the edge of discovery, risk, and ambition. In the end, Drew Pritchard's story is more than a tale of antiques and auctions. It is a testament to a life lived on the edge of risk and reward, of triumph and heartbreak, of scandal and redemption, and of the quiet courage it takes to release the past and begin anew. Drew's journey reminds us that history is not only preserved in museums or books, it is salvaged, restored, and sometimes, painfully, let go of by those who see the extraordinary within the discarded, the forgotten, and the overlooked.